Hi, happy 4th of July and happy Sunday. I decided I've had a couple people ask me. I was out, and you'll probably be able to see a little bit of sweat. I was outside walking our local ox roast, where they have all the crafts and stuff, just kind of fun to walk around. But a couple people had sought me, and it was quite unique because it was kind of the Amish community. And they asked me this question, it was very interesting to hear from that culture. But they said to me, have you thought about doing a video on if the relationships in people's lives, whether they be romantic, friendships, family, how do you know that you're in a trusting, intimate relationship? Well, that's interesting because I have a Mosaic program that is for trauma individuals who are suffering from trauma. And that specific topic is an exercise in the book. So if you see me gazing down, I want to make sure every question is right. But I do have an exercise in identifying what relationships in your life that you feel are intimate and trusting, but may not be. And people don't realize that they may not trust or identify that person right off the bat. And usually if you have it written down and you can look at your list and you can see the questions, you can say to yourself, okay, well, that was a shocker. I didn't realize I really didn't trust that person. And I just think that it's the combination of being able to actually see it. Just like when you do something, you may not understand it until you actually do it. When someone gives you instructions, you're like, stop, just let me do it, show me, and then I can do it. It's the same type of model. So I am actually going to give you 18 questions, and I want you to first make a list of all the people that you want to know and identify if you believe in the end that they are, for you, identified as a trusting, intimate, close relationship. So when you make this list, put a yes or no category, and you can either check mark it. You can do it whatever makes you can write out yes or no for each and every person for every question. But I want you guys to make the list first, and then we can do the question. So I can either maybe pause for a minute after each question, and then you can write it, and then we'll go to each one after that. And then I'll tell you how to score that so you can identify it, whether or not it's a trusting, intimate relationship for you. The first question is, do you, in your own opinion, these are from your opinion, do you and the persons on the list have a feeling of that you treat each other well? Do you feel that that person treats you well and you treat that person well? So again, go through the list and check mark however you choose to do that, yes or no. The second question is, from your point of view, on both ends, are you and this other person in a loving, deeply caring, supportive, and respect each other relationship? That is so significant. So go through your list, mark yes or no. 3, do you avoid criticizing, judging, or blaming each other? 4, do you listen carefully to each other? Now there's an act to this. So in other words, when you're trying to talk to this person, do they switch to another subject? Do they make eye contact? Are they paying attention? Or are they playing a game while you're trying to talk to them about your problem? Do you find yourself going, are you there? Are you listening? I mean, besides if you lose reception. Write down yes or no for that. Can you two talk to each other about your lives, difficult times, personal matters, hopes, dreams, and goals? Does that person support you with those things? Do they listen? Do they encourage you? Yes or no? Do you guys share fun, interesting activities with each other? That's number 6. Number 7, do you guys avoid sharing personal information with these people on the list? Specifically, do you avoid? It means, like, do you look at that person that you're looking at your list right now and say, I would not trust him or her with that personal information because they will have the whole town knowing my business within 5 minutes? That's that question. Do you guys forgive each other? Do you guys hold on to grudges? Do you forgive that person? Does that person forgive you? Again, yes or no. Do you guys accept each other for who you are and do not try to change one another? I find so many times that the friends in my life try to change everything about me to how they would do it. And that's not a person who has your best interests at heart. They want you to think and act like them instead of you thinking and acting for yourself. When I say that, these were people that are no longer in my life. Or if they are in my life, I keep pretty much a distance from them. And it's a surface type of relationship. Do you feel safe with the person that you're looking at on your list? Yes or no? Do you have a mutual understanding of empathy for one another? And empathy is just like, do you know how that person may feel walking in their shoes? Are you open to understanding another person? Or does the scenario become all about them or all about you? Yes or no? 12. Do you feel that this is a loving relationship with that person that you have on your list? 13. Does the other person ever emotionally or physically hurt you, force you to do things against your will, threaten you, family members, friends, or pets? Yes or no for each person on a list. 14. Does the relationship involve lack of respect, dishonesty, betrayal, deceit, shaming, or blaming? Yes or no for each. And you guys might see me use my hands and you can get a chuckle. I'm Italian, so I do it all the time. I talk with my hands. Bad habit. Okay. Give you a little bit of time to catch up on the yes or no's. 15. Do you do all the giving in the relationship? I always say that a person who does all the giving pretty much is becoming or forming a resentment because they feel like they're giving, and the well is dry. Sometimes we call this codependency. It runs a lot with people who have codependency. So that might be something or a word that you have heard before, and someone might have called you codependent. Codependency does not mean that you depend on the other person for finances and to live. Codependency the definition is completely different than that. It means you give again, give to the point that it becomes destructive for yourself. 16, is the other person critical and or judgmental of you? Are you ever teased, ridiculed, or put down? Yes or no for each. 17, are there certain subjects that you and the person on the list cannot speak about? Yes or no. And the last question is, does the person try to control you, in your opinion? So now that you have the list, go back and finish it, or pause this and finish it. And I want you to go back and review each person on the list. Okay? If you've answered no to questions 1 through 12 and yes for questions 13 through 18, you are more than likely in a relationship that you do not feel is trusting and intimate. And people ask me, well, it's my mother-in-law. I've got to have associations, or with somebody else close that relationship's important to you. So you want to improve or change this relationship for the better. But understand the other person has to be willing, and it is not your job to change another individual. You can only change things that you may be doing inappropriately or incorrectly. You cannot change the other person. So the series of these videos on intimacy and trust and relationship things will go on because I will give you guides to improve a relationship. But my suggestion is relationship coaching, counseling. I'm a relationship specialist, and I have developed this little knack of being able to assess and make a little mini plan of action, what I call a little assessment of things you can do or services that you can get or go to. Sometimes I refer people to chaplains because, or pastors or priests, because that's kind of what fits them better. And I do this little plan of action, and I talk to you for a half hour about your concerns and needs and hear you out. And I've called them breakthrough calls, self-discovery calls. But I think I'm going to stick with plan of action calls slash assessment. So I'm going to put that down below, basically down below the website and the link that you can click to do it. And you can click there. I only charge $15 for it. I don't charge a gross amount because that would suck if I charged a lot of money before you even knew what services you need. But I charge that to make the little mini assessment and the 30 minutes to talk to you. And it's pretty reasonable, I think. It's just, the time, a little bit of time. And I think it's nice to have a little sketch or outline of what maybe things you can do to begin having healthy relationships. So I'm going to sign off, and I want everybody to have a great 4th of July. Enjoy those fireworks tonight. Stay safe. And my signature, always walk in hope. Keep love in your heart and never give up. And with that, again, happy 4th, and everybody stay safe.